Happy holidays, gang. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, interestingly enough, GamingGang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So welcome aboard, everyone. Tonight is Tuesday, December 23rd, 2025. This is live stream 1271. If you're not overly familiar with the show, let me point out, super casual around here. Just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news, and then I will normally take a first look at a game. More often than not, it's going to be a role-playing game release. Every once in a while, I peek into a board game. Sometimes I might tackle a topic related to our hobby, or just have a bit of an AMA with the folks in chat. But tonight, we are going to finish taking a peek inside these massive bundle boxes from Gooey Cube. That's right, we're going to take a peek to see what we've got inside the Mournwood Madness Bundle. This is 4 or 5E D&D. Look at this box. This box has to be like 10 pounds. So if you have seen our first looks at the previous Gooey Cube releases, they have been quite impressive. So we'll see what this one has to offer as well. I believe it's kind of a dark forest setting that we'll be experiencing there. Very cool. Very nice. Of course, once again, we're just hanging out, having fun. We are certainly not engaged in rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination. I will also mention there are giveaways tonight. That's right. It is the holidays. It's the only show this week because it is Christmas week, and there will be giveaways. Few rules to the giveaways. Number one, you have to be a subscriber. You got to be a subscriber to the channel in order to win. Number two, you got to be watching live. That's right. This year, you must be watching live. And number three, you have to take part in chat. So those are the three rules to the giveaways this year. And I do recommend you stick around to the end of the show. It might actually end up being worth your while. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you are not going to find here on YouTube. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. And then, of course, because this is a live show, there is chat available. You must be a subscriber to the channel to take part in chat. And you must be a subscriber for at least an hour before you can take part in chat. So if you check off both those boxes, and you want to be part of the giveaways tonight, take part in chat. Got a question? Comment? Maybe just want to say howdy? Howdy ho, Kyle! Then by all means, chime in. I'll do my very best to respond. First out the gate tonight is Sean O'Donnell. Wallona's Cave is here. I see the lovely and talented Miss Sarah D., one of our chat moderators, is chiming on in. Kevin R. Smith and Mike are also with us tonight. Oh, I see. Reading Aid is also popping in. Da Bears. Yeah, I figured why not? Why not wear the Bears sweatshirt? All righty then. So let's jump on into the news, because arriving in January is the Warhammer 40K Darktide card game. I guess officially it's Warhammer 40,000 Darktide, the card game. Here's a lowdown from Cubicle 7 Games. The dark and gritty action of Warhammer 40,000 Darktide slips from the screen to the tabletop in a new card game by Cubicle 7, publishers of the tabletop RPG Imperium Maledictum and more. Darktide, the card game, is a fast and deadly cooperative caper for 1 to 4 players battling hordes of chaos-warped monsters and traitorous guardsmen across 6 missions decreed by their merciless inquisitor. The set includes over 260 cards, 6 player boards, and all the rules and tokens you need to play out missions packed with nerve-wracking decisions. After all, you're merely rejects, and the mission must succeed at any cost. If you're up for a shorter experience, you can also tackle the terrors of Hive Tertium in solo and single mission game modes. Warhammer 40,000 Darktide, the card game, is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, and plays in around 45 to 90 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $39.99 when it lands in stores January 21st. Yeah. Well, how's about that? I think we might actually get an opportunity to take a peek at this card game. Did reach out to one of my pals over at Cubicle 7 Games. I believe they've got a new marketing person who's on board. I think we're going to kind of get in contact after the first of the year, after the holidays. So maybe we'll take a peek at this before it hits stores. I don't know. All right. So let's see. Behorn14 has joined us in chat. Welcome aboard. Wellness Cave says they wonder why they didn't create a Vermintide version first. Well, I want to say that I think, I'm not positive, but I think the folks like Dom and TS, Luke Hart, and some of the other folks at Cubicle 7 Games are bigger fans of Warhammer 40K than they are like the old world. Now, I'm not saying they're not fans, don't get me wrong, because of course, obviously enough, they publish games with those other IPs. But I think their true love is Warhammer 40K. So I think that's maybe why they went with Darktide. Then again, maybe they went with Darktide because it's more recent. That's a possibility as well. Kathy Evans is joining us in chat. Welcome aboard. Now available in print from Exalted Funeral is Squishy, The Mall at Midnight. Here's what I know. You've been called to this place, the madness burning in your mind until all you could think about was that dark, run-down shopping mall at the edge of a dying city. And you're not alone. With artwork by Delancey Thorne and graphic design by Di Sugars, The Mall at Midnight is a new system-agnostic module in the Squishy series. A brutal dungeon crawl through a dark, hellish labyrinth filled with surreal monsters and vicious gangs, all vying to control the mysterious secret at the heart of this liminal labyrinth. Taking inspiration from 90s and 2000s comics and video games such as The Invisibles, Manhunt, Condemned, Silent Hill, and Siren, with a heavy helping of 1980s gangsploitation movies like Bronx Warriors and Deadbeat at Dawn, will bring you a descent into a world where madness is power. This features character creation tables that allow you to step right into the role of a fringe lunatic driven to enter the endless dark. A series of interconnecting and feuding NPCs ready to draw the players into a war for the mall, each trying to impose their own version of what's really going on. New horrifying supernatural creatures and brutal weapons, and multiple rival gangs all out for each other's blood. The frenzy mechanic is also featured, where exploring the mall will drive players to a state of insanity which unlocks powerful new abilities, but also draws the attention of vicious nightmare creatures, as well as a decaying city to explore with tables for random encounters and opportunities for side quests. This 54-page zine with PDF carries an MSRP of $20. Scary kids, scary. So Squishy is a series of horror adventures, although I'm pretty sure there's a Squishy Quick Start out there. But they are system agnostic adventures. Like I said, I think there is a Squishy role-playing game because I could have swore I've seen a Quick Start for it. But they're all pretty bizarre. I gotta say, pretty weird. Well. Hey, since we're talking about Exalted Funeral, let's kick off with our first of the holiday giveaways. So, I've already reviewed the first two of the core books for Dolmenwood. So I have shared my review of the player's book as well as the referee's book. I am kicking off my 12 days. See, I keep thinking 13 because that's usually how many games I include in my favorite games of the year video, which will also be out on New Year's Eve. Anyway, I'm kicking off my 12 days of reviews on Christmas Day, and I am going to be sharing my review of the Monster book. But for my first giveaway, I am going to give away to one lucky viewer the 3 core books for Dolmenwood in PDF. So the player's book, the referee's book, and the Monster book. And you must be a subscriber. You must be taking part in chat. These are, if you popped in a little bit late, that's how this is working. And you have to answer the following question. First one to get this right is the winner. And I will actually move into my next news piece. If Miss Sarah D can do me a favor, maybe keep a peek on who is the first to get the correct answer. But Dolmenwood is kind of a dark fairy tale sort of setting. It draws inspiration from British and some other European legends and myths. So my question to you is, what are the first names of the Brothers Grimm? First person to get that correct in chat is going to win the trio of core books. How's about that? All right, moving right along to our next news piece. There's a new adventure which has arrived from Mongoose Publishing for the Paranoia role-playing game. And I've got the scoop on water everywhere. Ding! Attend troubleshoot, people. To be going into TUV sector? Why not? Last mission uptake to be sending you to where planes live. If arrivals are speeching to citizens next. The computer. Where does heat go when we are not using it to cook or force a traitor to confess? Normally it escapes into the air. But what if a city was underground? And what if that city was also a nightmarish hellscape of bureaucracy, failing tech, and summary executions? Power services cannot get a handle on waste heat, and they are worried Friend Computer will punish them for rising internal temps. They hire a troubleshooter team to hide their involvement. Technical Services hates Power Services, so they also hire a troubleshooter team to make that involvement well known. Because there are only so many teams available, of course, they both hired the same troubleshooter team. Wait, why are sea levels rising inside an underground city that has no sea? Water, Water Everywhere is a new damp mission for paranoia that satirizes climate change. Yeah, because, is that something to joke about? Well, it is an alpha complex. Watch the troubleshooters try to convince poor citizens that climate change is not real. Evacuate blue citizens because climate change is real. Avoid a swarm of angry bees and convince factory workers to breathe out less carbon dioxide while maintaining work quotas. Oh, one more thing. Half the team will be on Power Services side, while the other half support Technical Services. Everyone will work together in peace and harmony. Right? This 32-page softcover with PDF carries an MSRP of $19.99. If you want to just grab the PDF alone, you can do so over at DriveThruRPG for $11.99. I will also point out that there is the Traveler Ancients campaign bundle of holding, which is still running for a couple of weeks. So I didn't want to double dip on Mongoose Publishing news. So you already know we've got a Traveler's Essentials offer at Bundle of Holding. There is also the Traveler Ancients Bundle of Holding, which has the 3 campaign books. If I remember correctly, I think it's $19.95. So I did want to mention that as well. All right, so I see who's got the answer to our question. Who are the Brothers Grimm and what were, well, not really, who are they? What were their first names? Yes, it is Wilhelm, and I'm not sure if it's Jacob or Jakob. I think it might be Jakob. All depends. But that is correct. Mike got that one right. So Mike is the winner of the trio of Dolmenwood core books in PDF. We'll also mention Mike is now out of the running for any further giveaways tonight. So keep that in mind. All of a sudden, Mike's like, wait a second. But I don't want these then. I want something else. Kidding. I'm a kidding. All right, so let's see. Mark Hawkswell's with us. So is Stray Kismet. And the Madman is also hanging with the gang. Kevin R. Smith is almost certainly the second pronunciation since they were German. Yes. I would have thought, now, once again, we're talking 18th century when they were born. Later in the 18th century. I'm not sure if that would be like if Jakob would be more of like a Semitic name or not. I have no idea. Mike says, next up, a new car. No. Nope. All righty. Moving right along. The Marvel Multiverse role-playing game has a new supplement in print. I've got the skinny on the Avengers expansion. Avengers Assemble! Earth's mightiest heroes finally get the big book treatment that role-playing game fans have been waiting for. The Marvel Multiverse role-playing game, Avengers Expansion, is the next major tabletop expansion for, well, yes, you guessed it, the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game, featuring all new playable locations, characters, and legendary equipment to create an adventure unlike any other. Written by award-winning author Matt Forbeck, the Avengers expansion features many of Marvel's most popular superheroes like Black Widow, Captain America, Hawkeye, Iron Man, Hulk, and Thor, plus countless other Avengers and their most villainous foes. Players will find everything they need to craft iconic weapons like Captain America's shield or Thor's hammer, build legendary headquarters like the Avengers Tower, delve into high-tech characters and armors, and handle epic large-scale battles between heroes and their foes. Paired with the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game core rulebook, anyone from seasoned tabletop players to first-timers can jump headfirst into the Marvel Universe. This 256-page hardcover carries an MSRP of $49.99. If you want to grab the PDF, you can do so over at DriveThruRPG for $29.99. And I will mention, I have seen this over on Amazon here in the US for $22.09. That is more than 50% off. Not too bad, not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. All right. So how about our next giveaway? So I already mentioned the 12 days of reviews. It's going to kick off on Christmas Day. And one of those reviews is actually for the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game core rulebook. And I'm going to give away the PDF to the core rulebook right now. Once again, whoever's first with the correct answer is the winner, except for Mike. Mike already won. So Mike can just relax. He can step away from the keyboard. As I see Solo RPG Guy is with us in chat. Might be a first-time visit. I don't recognize that nickname. But then again, we got all these different nicknames nowadays. So who knows? All right. So if you want to win a copy of the core rulebook for the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game, riddle me this. Which Marvel comic character appeared first? Spider-Man, Thor, the Fantastic Four's The Thing, or the Incredible Hulk? First correct answer is going to get that PDF. I should mention, as far as winning these PDFs, what you need to do is you need to email Jeff McAleer at thegaminggang.com. If for some reason that's not clicking in your head, go to thegaminggang.com, look at the top line of links. You will see you can contact me, but you do have to send me an email from the email address tied to your YouTube account. Easy enough, right? So it's, for most people, it's just their Gmail because they use the same Gmail for YouTube. All right. Higzilla is with us tonight. And Higzilla says, oh, I'm sorry. I take that back. I thought they were first out the gates. DB is the winner. It is The Thing, because the Fantastic Four was the first of the Marvel age to arrive on the scene. 64? I don't think it was 63. It might be 64. Very nice, very nice. I have read many of the... Okay, so here's something weird. I once had someone give me it was a hard drive, but it was, a portable hard drive. And it contained PDFs of every Marvel comic, or supposedly every Marvel comic from the 60s on, it didn't have like Timely or Atlas stuff on it. So it started with like a couple of months before Fantastic Four hit. So, I mean, they were still doing like Millie the Model and stuff like that. So, Bjorn14 says, I should get around to reading the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game since I have the rule book. Maybe they'll do that tomorrow. Kevin R. Smith says Fantastic Four #1 came out in 61. Yeah, I was trying to remember if Kennedy was still alive or not. So, yes, I will believe that. Oh, yeah, because Spider-Man appears in Amazing Fantasy 15 long before 1964. Duh. Oh, hey, okay, I got one for you. Would you like me to give away another copy of the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game core rulebook? Quick. Answer in chat. Quick, because I still have a news piece to do. Yes? No, baby. Nobody cares. Okay, the Madman says yes. Higzilla says yes. All right, so this is going to be a much tougher question here. All right. So, what fictional character exists with Marvel/Atlas Comics? Okay, so there's going to be a hint to this. What character existed in a line of comic books before the Marvel Age hits? So prior to Fantastic Four #1 coming out, there is a character who eventually becomes a Marvel superhero. Who is she? There's your hint. And what superhero does she become? So there you have it. All right, so let's jump on into our final news piece, because following a successful crowdfunding run, the Expanse role-playing game Transport Union Edition has landed in PDF, and I've got the latest from Ronin Publishing. Further, farther, faster. The Expanse role-playing game Transport Union Edition opens a gateway to new adventures with expanded rules and new material covering everything in the Expanse novel series, from Leviathan Wakes to the beginning of the Persepolis Rising. Get involved in interplanetary politics as tensions rise between Earth, Mars, and the Belt. See the discovery of ancient alien technology forever change the course of human history. Even travel light years away to explore new systems and settle new worlds around distant stars. The unlocked secrets of the galaxy are yours to discover. Filled with action and intrigue, the Expanse role-playing game, Transport Union Edition, uses the fast-playing adventure game engine to bring the science fiction saga created by James S.A. Corey to your game table. All you need are some players, some six-sided dice, and the book. Assemble your crew of Earthers, Martians, and Belters to explore more of the galaxy than ever before. Strap in and get ready for a hard burn. The 290-page PDF can be had over at Drive-Thru RPG for $29.99. There is a little bit of confusion about this book. To my knowledge, This is considered a new edition of the Expanse role-playing game. It has more content because I think it's an additional book, like from the series, included, like a book and a half or something like that, included with this. I think there are some mechanical tweaks as well. So I understand. I saw over on Drive-Thru RPG some questions asking, so, I mean, what is this? Is this a new edition? Is this like the modern age role-playing game where you've got like 3 different styles of play, like gritty realism, cinematic? That I don't know the answer to, but I can say this is a new edition of the Expanse role-playing game. There you go. All right, so that is it for the news tonight. Of course, I've mentioned Drive-Thru RPG. Don't forget, the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, happens to be affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit any of them, such as Drive-Thru RPG, Storyteller's Vault, Dungeon Masters Guild, Wargame Vault, there are a slew of One Bookshelf sites out there. Before you head on over, stop at thegaminggang.com, click on one of our banners. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. And I got to say, our affiliation with the One Bookshelf sites actually pays for the Gaming Gang website each and every month. So it goes a long, long way to keeping that website around, our home website. Yes. So there's that. Of course, if you like this video, by all means, give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. Probably want to do that, because that way you can take advantage of the giveaways when I do giveaways. Because remember, you always got to be a subscriber to the channel. Don't forget. Anyway, if you like the video, give it a quick thumbs up. And of course, if you like the Gaming Gang, if you feel this is a valuable resource, hell, if you just like what we do, there are a couple of other ways outside of the One Bookshelf sites affiliation that you can help support the outlet. First, you can make a one-time donation by way of PayPal. Hell, you can buy me a 2-liter bottle of soda. Oh, yummy, yummy, yum, yum. Or you can become a monthly member of our Patreon. You will find links in the show notes. Also, down in those show notes, you're going to find an invite link to our Discord server. Absolutely free to sign up, so be sure to hang with the gang over on Discord. And the madman has the correct answer. Although he was backtracking on it, it is Patsy Walker. Patsy Walker had a comic book where she is a high schooler. I don't think she becomes a model, because Millie the model obviously is that. But yes, Patsy Walker ends up becoming Hellcat. Now, unless I had pointed, because I was trying to steer you to the correct answer, because you also would have the Human Torch. The Human Torch is a character from Timely. So is a Submariner. So is Captain America. But none of them had comic books with Marvel before Fantastic Four #1 launched. So they were, I think the final real like superhero was Captain America in the 50s. And Captain America had become a teacher. It's like, oh, okay. And he was chasing down communists Yes. So DB points out the Human Torch becomes the Vision because the Human Torch originally is an android. And he bursts into flames. That's actually a design flaw. When he was exposed to oxygen, he bursts into flames. Yeah, I've read some of the old timely stuff too. But yeah, I used to have this this portable hard drive that had, like, it was supposedly every Marvel comic from like 1959, whenever they changed the name from Atlas over to Marvel, because they went Timely, Atlas, Marvel. I don't think there was any other names in between. And I think it was until I think I remember right, the hard drive had up till 2010. And I read up to, I think it was like 1969. And I was just read like month by month, you know, like I was like, oh, this kind of weird, you know, kind of cool. Kathy Evans guessed Wonder Woman. That would it would be a different comic book company. So that's okay. All right. So the winner of the other copy is The Madman. All right. So I think we'll do one more giveaway before we start taking a peek at Mournwood Madness. And let's see. I'll tell you what. I was very excited to get my hands on the Dungeon Crawl Classics Lankhmar box set, which I do believe they could still sell it, but I think it's the end of this month that they cannot do that. But I also had the PDF for this. So even if, well, I'm not selling it anyway. So I'm going to give away the PDF to Dungeon Crawl Classics Lankhmar, as well as the core rulebook for Dungeon Crawl Classics. And I will make this one relatively easy. There are 7 Fritz Leiber books, which most people feel compose the tales of Fafhrd and the Grey Mouse. I think all the stories are included in that, although I think there's some unpublished stuff that hasn't seen the light of day by way of like a book. But there are 7 books. All 7 of them have the word sword or swords in the title. And they are it happens to be the first word of the title, except for 2 of those books. What are the 2 titles that sword or swords is not the first word? First person with the correct answer for that is going to win the Dungeon Crawl Classics core rulebook PDF, as well as the Lankhmar box set PDF. Oh, I hear those fingers typing on keyboards, going to Google. The titles of Fafhrd. How do you spell Fafhrd? Fafhrd. Save you the hassle. And it's Gray Mouser. Hell, I could have thrown out another comic book trivia question with the tie-in to Fafhrd and Grey Mouser. The Fafhrd and Grey Mouser appeared in a comic book. Yeah, I think it's 72 or 73. And it's a superhero comic. So they were like guest stars. And then I guess the comic publisher actually did a series. I think it ran 6 issues of Fritz Leiber stories that they had, adapted. So just like, Marvel did the Conan stories. There you go. Kevin R. Smith is our winner. The Swords of Lankhmar and the Knight and Knave of Swords. Gotta say, the 7th book I'm not super keen on. It's okay. So in my personal opinion, I think the stories of Fafhrd and Greymouser wrap up at the end of the 6th book, right? Which, if I remember correctly, is the Swords of Lankhmar. With those short stories there. And because the 7th book gets kind of, there's always like wenching going on in a lot of the Fafhrd and Greymouser stories. So it's not as if the stories avoid the subject of sex. But the last book's kind of pervy and weird. So in certain respects. So Tessie Drake says, I forgot today's Wednesday. The holiday break is already affecting them. Mike says, today is Wednesday. In Australia, I think it is. Right? All right. So, yes, there you go. So, Kevin R. Smith is our winner. Wins the PDF of the Dungeon Crawl Classics core rulebook, as well as the box set for Lankhmar. Yay. All righty. So we're going to dive in. We're going to take a look at Mournwood Madness 4-5e. It is a bundle from Gooey Cube in just a few moments. But there's something I think I need to do first. I think there is. And our brief intermission is going to include a trailer for one of my absolute favorite Christmas movies. And you might find this to be rather strange. Guess you'll have to find out.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out for a delicious snack in our sparkling refreshment building. Every item a fresh, appetizing taste treat.
To all our wonderful customers, may this Christmas be your merriest. May this New Year be your happiest, is the sincere wish of this theater and these friendly business firms.
Hallmark presents Keepsake Ornaments for Christmas 1978. Designed like beautiful ornaments from Christmas past with Hallmark care and craftsmanship. And Hallmark ornaments are just the gift for Christmas present to treasure a special event like baby's first Christmas. Many Hallmark ornaments are dated keepsakes too for Christmas future because they return every year. Hallmark Keepsake Ornaments, wherever Hallmark cards are sold.
Hi, how are you again?
I have some last-minute gift problems.
Don't worry. Hickory Farms has over 100 gift packs. Gifts with mild cheddar cheese, smoky bar cheese. We are the super cheese market.
Yes, but
and Hickory Farms specialties like beef stick and sweet hot mustard.
Oh, look, I'll just put myself in your hand.
Okay. Let's see. It's 14 elves.
Mm-hmm.
How many reindeer?
Well, there's Dasher, Dancer, and Prancer.
Merry Christmas from your Kmart Christmas store. Save on sweaters and on hats, bowling balls and baseball bats.
Cameras, TVs, bikes and plants, goldfish, fat boy slippers, pants.
Mirrors, dresses, perfume, socks, toasters, roasters, robes and clocks. Candy, records, films and toys at Santa Land for girls and boys. Christmas smiles light every face at Kmart's Christmas saving place.
See these two people? I hate these people.
How can we both be in the marriage and I'm miserable and you're content?
Luck.
It was Christmas Eve in Connecticut. I was minding my own business, breaking into this rich guy's house when... I ran into this dog. I hate this dog. My partner Murray was waiting for me outside. Murray's an idiot. Murray. This is Santa Claus. Not the real Santa Claus, just some drunk guy pretending to be Santa Claus. Anyways, the cops came. I took those 2 people hostage in that house that I hate. And guess what? Their relatives showed up. Why? Because it's Christmas Eve, remember? Remember how much I said I hated those 2 people? That's nothing compared to how I feel about the rest of their family.
The TV's broke. What are we going to do all night? Celebrate the birth of Christ.
I hate this guy, his wife, these kids, and this lady.
I think this is sick.
I'm in hell.
You want to have sex with him?
What?
It was a nightmare. It was just,
Shut up!
It was cops and candles and kids and booze and fruitcake and Santa Claus and...
Sex and drugs and women being set on fire. Fascinating.
It was such a nightmare that now I hate Christmas. I used to love Christmas, you know, food and reindeer and ties and bags of fluffy new socks. Now I even hate socks. God, I hate this movie.
Yes, it's true. The Ref is one of my favorite Christmas movies. I tend to watch it every year. Some people are like, oh, I'm going to watch Miracle at 34th Street. And it's like, I'm going to put on The Ref. One of my all-time favorite lines. You know, Ma, next year for Christmas, we're going to get you a big cross. So the next time you feel unappreciated, you can just climb right on up there and nail yourself to it. Or thereabouts. Thereabouts. Words to that effect. And W. Forge and John Snyder are with us tonight. The Madman says they've never seen The Ref. You're going to have to check it out. Not a movie that you want to watch with the kids. Yes. Reading Aid says Dennis Leary was great in that movie. Was that before or after Demolition Man? I think it's before. I think Dennis Leary was just kind of becoming... I want to say that might have been his first movie, actually. Tessie Trekkie says their favorite Christmas movie is Violent Night. I think Santa Die Harding, a kid who takes home alone traps to their conclusion, and a touching reminder of the importance of family. Solo RPG Guy says, come on, everybody knows Die Hard is the best Christmas movie. Well, I didn't say The Ref is the best Christmas movie. I said it's one of my favorites. But yes, Die Hard as well. And I am a firm believer Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Don't know what to tell you. Die Hard 2 most certainly is. All right, so tonight we are going to dive on in. We are going to take a first look at the Mournwood Madness Bundle for 5e Dungeons & Dragons from Gooey Cube. This box set normally carries an MSRP of $200. I have seen right now you can score it over at Gooey Cube's website for $159. All right, let's swing on over to the other camera. W. Forge is talking about Die Hard. If you follow me on social media, I shared this this picture somebody had taken of this house that was decorated like for Die Hard for Christmas. There's like an inflatable Nakatomi Plaza or whatever, and There's an inflatable Bruce Willis with the machine gun. And yes, it's like, now I have a machine gun. No, ho. And then Hans Gruber's like on the roof and he's like falling off. It's really funny. And it's real. It's, as far as I understand, it is legit. All right. So, a couple of things to mention before we jump on in. First of all, the fine folks over at Gooey Cube were kind enough to provide me with this review copy. But neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this first look with you. It's very important you know that. We're also not going to look at each and every page of the books that are in here. And I should also point out that there are adventures in here. So players out there, be warned, probably going to be some spoilers. Just so you know. All right, let's get the shrink wrap off here. If you're tuning in late, when I picked this up before, I was like, this has got to weigh like 10 pounds. I'll tell you what, though, all this stuff is really cool that's packed into these boxes. I am not a fan of this slip case that goes over it because I already have one that broke apart, that kind of tore apart because these things are just so packed with stuff. All righty. So I have to take a peek in here to see if there's a certain item that needs to be taken out. Doesn't look like it. There's usually like a postcard that's got the code for the PDFs, but I'm not seeing it in here. Interesting. All right. So look at it. Look at all these books that are in here. And I think there's a novella that's part of this as well. Okay, so this is the Mournwood. So this is a regional campaign setting. So that's this right here. Then we've got Blood for the Con. This is an adventure for levels 2 to 5. Kind of surprised it's not 1 to 5. So far, we did take a peek at an adventure that's the last box set we took a peek at, which is like the smallest of the box sets. That ran, I think, 1 to 5, something like that. Sassy Trekkie says Dolmenwood vibes. I don't know about that. I mean, this is just supposed to be a dark fantasy forest. Dolmenwood's its own thing. So this is a side quest, Shades of Loss. The Truth Lies Cold. So that is another side quest adventure. And then I think this is the novella. Oh, it's a journal and sketchbook. Okay. All right. Lots of goodies in here. So we are going to start off. I tell you, whenever we take a peek at these, and we take a peek inside these Gooey Cube releases, these are pretty long videos. So, because there's lots and lots in here. All right. I'm crying out loud. Come on. Oh, there we go. I was going to say, I was just about to say, I wonder if the little slip that's got the PDF code is inside each of these. That's what it is. And Agile Monk is with us with a $20 super chat. Pete Strakulich has also joined us, pointing out it's a hefty box. I will mention the holiday giveaways are not over just yet. Stick around to the end of the stream. It might turn out to be worth your while. I'll just let you know about that right now. So this is our regional setting campaign. So these items are available separately. So you could pick up the Mournwood by itself. Though situated across the Mistroon River from the great metropolis of Darkenhaven, which we've already taken a look at that box set, the fearful forest known as the Mournwood, is one of the most mysterious and dangerous localities anywhere in the Republic of Zyranthia, a land that once had the promise of being the core around which civilization could rebuild after the calamitous woe of ruin. It has now become overgrown with blighted trees, thorny underbrush, and choking vines. The Mournwood has become the home of strange beasts, deadly monsters, and merciless bandits. But these are the least of the threats faced by those who dare walk beneath the forest's crooked boughs. The natural cycle of life and death is being upended within the heart of the Mournwood by cults in service to powers long forgotten. A grave threat to the world is growing within sight of the Republic's capital. Will any brave the forest to discover its twisted secrets? So Agile Monk is wishing all a Merry Christmas. Thank you kindly. All right, so this is our setting lore book and campaign guide. Here is the GM reference book. We've got some maps, treasured trails. So we've got some treasure maps. One thing I can say whenever we're taking a look at this stuff from Gooey Cube is you are certainly getting a lot of stuff packed into these boxes. So you might sit there and go, holy cow, an MSRP of $200, even though right now you can get it for $159. The map's ripped a little bit. That's too bad. But as you can see, I mean, there's just tons of stuff in here. All right. Let's take a peek. All right. Putting that box off to the side. I guess I'm going to need it. So there's that. Okay. So this is our setting lore book and campaign guide. So this is going to give us our introduction to Mournwood. I do like how we've got the ring binding here. I am curious how well these books will hold up to a lot of use. Because a lot of times the paper gets kind of torn. So we've got the historical account of the Mournwood, rising from the ashes, a timeline, current happenings. The Mournwood has always been a place to fear, from the madness it causes to those who inflict physical harm, be it from monsters or predatory plants, or even the multitude of toxic substances that will cause one's insides to turn to sludge. As such, the Mournwood has, for many anims, been a place few traveled, much less attempted to stay in for any length of time. In recent years, however, that has changed. Several groups have entered the Mournwood and stayed. So it looks like one of them is a cult. I think the cult is the big problem we've got. Oh, so we've got these hanging dolls, which reminds me of that. It's like a little island want to say it's in like Panama or something like that. It is creepy as hell. Where all these dolls have been, left and tied to trees and things like that. There's an episode of, I want to say it's Expedition Unknown. And it's probably one of the creepiest episodes out there. All right. So once again, this is just our campaign setting book here. Looks like we've got some keyed locations for the map. So this, once again, this is our campaign guide. It's almost like a sturge, but I don't think it's a sturge. It is a hog skeeter. Yeah. Tessie Treggy says they're happy to pay a lot for a game if it's in complete and quality, such as Dolmen Wood. Actually, Dolmen Wood's not expensive. I know people are like, oh, $60 for that campaign book. Yeah, but it's also like 460 pages long. The monster book's 30 and the player's book is 30. So Land of Eam, I also feel Land of Eam is reasonably priced. So the Pinnacle box sets, the Savage Worlds box sets, yeah, those usually are pretty packed with value. So we've got some non-map locations, okay. We've got the Shadow Vale. The Shadow Vale, with its eerie landscapes and maddening phenomena, stands as the darkest and most impenetrable of the Mournwood's 4 regions. Here one can stumble upon ancient ruins, long-forgotten secrets, and the lingering remnants of both eldritch powers and the forces of nature. It is a realm where time itself seems to have forgotten its purpose. It's the land that time forgot. W4 Jazz, are Beetle and Grimm reasonably priced? My answer to that would be, just off the top of my head, no. So I'm just saying, I think Beetles and Grimm is a bit pricey. I mean, I get it. I understand. It's, it's kind of boutique, right? They're limited edition with, the stuff that they release. But yeah, what was the Absalom set? Oh, I'm not saying it's not nice stuff, like Agile Monk points out. If I remember right, I think the Absalom box set for Pathfinder, which included, weirdly enough, wooden coasters, as well as a big, like, map cylinder. I think that was like $300 or $400. I was like, But it was one of these releases where, like, you had handouts with artwork for every single NPC and stuff. Right, so it looks like we've got some more locations that are keyed. I'm kind of rocking on through these, or through this, I should say, because we've got a lot to take a peek at. So I'm just saying, we've got the Core of Corruption. Ooh, scary kids, scary. All right. So there is that. Then we got the GM reference book, which usually this provides us with our combat encounters and our, what do they call them? Not so random encounters. See, that's another thing that'll happen with, like, the ring binders. You got to be careful because sometimes they'll catch. And if you're not careful and they catch, you'll tear the paper. So See, it's doing it here too. All right. So, Mournwood Madness. It's going to give us rules about the madness. There we go. Not so random encounters. So we get some read aloud, and then we get a breakdown of what's going on. And then a bit further on into the book, these will be our stat blocks for the encounters. So usability at the table seems pretty solid with the Gooey Cube releases. I should have my first Gooey Cube review during the Gaming Gang 12 days of reviews. Probably later into the new year. So it looks like these are our or I should say these are bestiary entries. So we got reference sections. Lots of stuff packed in here. I'll tell you that right now. All right. So that's the reference book. We had the setting book. We had treasure trails. I think these are just maps to hand out. Yep. It's kind of cool. Single-sided. And then a map of West Verdestia. I like that cartography. That cartography is nice. It's really nice. Okay, so we had that. What else do we got? We've got more treasure trails. Oh, or is it? I guess we accidentally got two sets. Or is one set for the players, one's for the GM? That might be. Okay, so that would be a player map. No, I think they're identical. We may have accidentally got an extra set. Hey, no complaints there. Hey, anybody want to buy some treasure trails? And then we had the maps. We were taking a peek at the maps. And then we have the adventure handouts, which these are usually really cool because there's a lot of POV. So we get the POV artwork. My gosh, look at how many are in this. Looks like we've got some cards in here too. Oh yeah, that's one thing we didn't see. Decks of cards. So I'm going to take a guess. We've got cards that we're going to actually punch out. Probably perforated. So as you can see, yep, lots of artwork. Honestly, I think this is one of the biggest selling points I've seen so far with the Gooey Cube releases are these handouts. Because it's not just, oh, look, here's a monster. We get, okay, so what does the scene look like? And then we'll normally have cards for the NPCs. Or I should say, not necessarily cards. Smaller handouts. All right, so here we have the cards. Oops. Yep, there we go. Character portraits. So these just have to be punched out. Gooey rewards. Let's show you some of these handouts here. That's kind of cool. Got a little Pan's Labyrinth going. Now, keep in mind, this is just one of the packages that's in that box set. Right? This isn't the whole box set. This is just the first thing that we took out. So pretty wild. Okay. So we've got the map here, wraps around all that stuff, and I will plop that back on into the box there. See, now this one here, it's almost as thick as the other one we were just taking a look at. So this is Blood for the Con, a mysterious and dark tale set in the Mournwood Forest for levels 2 to 5. Okay, so that's the same information we had on the other one. So our synopsis here: Blood for the Con begins a most terrifying tale of greed and revenge as the party is hired to investigate the rumored existence of a powerful artifact dating back to the times before the woe of ruin. Why did I say rain? Yeah, it's the woe of rain. This extremely potent magical object is named the Blood Crystal and is said to be sequestered somewhere in the shattered ruins beneath the Mournwood, where many foul and fearful monsters dwell. But the patrons who have engaged the party are not the only ones who know of the Blood Crystal's existence. Indeed, a most powerful and secretive personage known only as the Con. Yeah, you knew that was coming. Also seeks to gain possession of the artifact, and indeed will stop at nothing to have it in their grasp. There's a bit more information there, but we'll just dive on in and take a peek. So here's the adventure book. This clocks in at about 40 pages. It is, well, 40 would be that. And then we got our GM reference as well. So some information for the game master there, how to run it. And of course, this is all statted for 5e Dungeons and Dragons. The next big box set that's coming out is Tomb of Gaizian Gax. I think that's how it's pronounced. That is statted for 5e. You could also get it statted for Old School Essentials. So how's about that? So once again, you'll see here's our references for our GM book. So it's like, oh, okay. So we've got the encounter with the Spider Del spiders. You can pull it up in here. So you'll have all your stat blocks and that in here. So then we have a terrifying tale from long ago. Is there like a flashback adventure? Maybe. It looks like there might be. Or maybe not. So I'm curious if this is self-contained, if that's it for the adventure, or if it's like the first part of a campaign. I think it's self-contained. So here's another reference book with our not so random encounters. Yep. Referee sections. And our adventure handouts. Quite a lot of these again. Oh, yes. We've got the maps. We also have a big map. I don't think it's a big map. Maybe it's just a single sheet. But that is our map of the area. The handouts. Of course, we'll have the POV shots. And then, of course, we'll have, we get, as far as these sorts of like encounter maps, we normally have 2 copies. We get one for the players, one for the GM. And then we will get into our player portraits, or I should say character portraits, because they're NPCs. Then we get our cards, right? Gooey rewards and our items. Nice. I think it's cool how Gooey Cube sticks to a certain approach to their adventures. So it's like, okay, here's the adventure book. Here's the reference book. Here are the handouts. So you know exactly what you're getting. Now, I understand there are some shorter adventures. In fact, I have one like this. So it's a mini adventure. So I would take a guess this mini adventure here is probably just going to be a single booklet. I could be wrong. You never know. But I'm taking a guess it is. But these larger packages, they all kind of stick to the same approach, which I think is very cool. As I mentioned, I will have my first Gooey Cube review coming up during the holiday break. Agile Monk says, yes, they have a style and approach that's consistent for all of their products. Mike is on mobile now listening. Hey, use some of those hype points. All right, let's get that. This is a chilling side quest for levels 2 to 4. So we get a map there. There's our adventure book. Looks like we're dealing with a ghost. Venture into the shadowed heart of the Mournwood as adventurers are entreated to aid in reuniting a family torn asunder by a most grotesque monster. A young girl, daughter of a traveling craftsman, has been abducted by some abomination spawned by the maddening forest. She is the catalyst for an adventure fraught with danger. As her parents beg the adventurers to journey into the forest few dare to tread. As players delve deeper into the Mournwood, they will encounter a series of harrowing scenarios and will meet some unlikely allies, each with their own motivations. At the heart of this tale lies the bond between 2 unlikely friends, a living girl and a ghost, a silent witness to her abduction. However, other darker entities stand in the way, eager to further their malevolent aims. Brace yourselves for a perilous journey through tangled briars. Every step is a choice, every decision a potential trap in the Mournwood. Even the ground beneath your feet may not be what it seems. So Mike says it doesn't let you hype during the stream. I'm not overly familiar with the whole hype thing. I don't think I've watched a live stream that I've hyped. They're usually just videos, that are uploaded. All right. So we get our GM overview, notes for the GM. There's our ghost. Well, we knew there was a ghost. We saw it on the cover. There's the ghost girl. Everyone has that one curious friend. So this is a mini adventure, or a side quest, I guess, is what it's considered. Ooh, looks almost like a drider, right? It is the Widow of the Woods. Oh, my best friend Elliot would love that monster. Such a big fan of spiders. Showdown at the Silent Grove. All right, there we go. That's cool. I like that. That's pretty wild looking creature there. All right, here's our reference book. Pretty short. Giving us an introduction. Here's the battle stats. This is where we see, there's a bigger image of the Widow of the Woods. Very cool. Adventure handouts. Yep. Well, there's the parents, obviously enough. Not looking too happy. Okay. I'm not used to seeing the maps where they've got a grid on them. Maybe I just haven't been paying attention. This is the slime pit. Oh, we got a few of these little bigger handouts. We've got our character portraits. Then our items, our gooey rewards. All right. So that is Shades of Loss. And with each of these, you get the PDFs. So I've been taking the little slips that have the QRCs as I've opened them up. All right, so the last thing we've got, oh, no, I should take that back. We've got this, and then we also have the journal and sketchbook. So this is a player's guide. For some strange reason, I thought there was a novella. Maybe there's a novella part that's part of this. Yep, that is it. Okay, that's cool. All right. We'll take a peek at that in a sec. So this is The Truth Lies Cold. What? Love lies bleeding in my hand. What? The Truth Lies Cold draws you into a chilling tale that unfolds in the shadows of the Mournwood. As the game master, you'll guide your party through an atmospheric side quest seamlessly intertwined with the events of Blood for the Khan. A vanished fellowship known as the Steel Dagger takes center stage as the adventurers trace their fate to Croven Down Cave. RV Starenshad, an ally with the vendetta against the Necrobloom Circle, reveals a mission critical to thwarting the necrotic druids. Amulet once in possession of the Steel Dagger. The party must explore Croven Down's winding passages, uncovering traces of both the Steel Dagger and a malevolent presence lurking within. In the depths of Croven Down Cave, the players unravel the grim destiny of the Steel Dagger adventuring band, only to be confronted with a shocking twist. Equip your party for this gripping journey as the GM, revel in the opportunity to deepen the narrative tapestry. The Truth Lies Cold invites you to defy expectations, weaving a tale that goes beyond the predictable and forges a genuine connection between the party and the fallen Steel Dagger. Avenge, explore, and unravel the mysteries that lie within the cold, echoing Craven Down Cave. Well, I'm getting the feeling that the Steel Dagger came to a very poor end. Just take it a guess. That is the vibe I am getting. All right, so the adventure book's pretty short. It's shorter than the one with the little ghost kid. So we've got our GM overview once again, and it gives us a synopsis, gives us notes. We've got the Queen Rat and her rat children. Yeah, this is pretty short. All right, that's cool. And we got our GM reference book, which actually Feels like it's actually longer than the adventure. It might be. What's our page count here? Maybe it's just thicker paper stock? Could be. So was that like 20? Yeah, it is. The GM reference is actually longer than the adventure. That's pretty wild. All right. So just taking a peek on through here real quick. And once again, I do want to point out that you don't need to purchase the whole bundle. These are all available individually. I don't know if this is. This might be specific for the bundle. But see, as you can see here, here's an ad for just the Mournwood, which was the first package we took a peek at. Then we got our handouts. Artwork for Gooey Cube is pretty solid for the most part. Some of the character art is really good, and then I'll see some which is kind of like, it's okay. I guess that's the Rat Queen. One of our maps. Ta-da. I'm going to take a guess that's the, what was it, Silver Dagger? His ghost. I think this is the ally that we start off with. Yeah, I think this is, maybe the Steel Dagger is like an adventuring group. I think they're all ghosts here. That would be my guess. All right, and we got our Gooey rewards and our item cards. Sweet. And then the final item we have is the Player's Guide. It says it's a journal and sketchbook. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that character's name. So yeah, I think this is the novella I had heard about. And then we might get information about some of the locations. Yep. It's like the Shadow Vale, the North Dark. Now, those of you who have actually caught some of the other first looks of the Gooey Cube releases will already know that is the city of Darkenhaven. Oh, here's that ally. So we're seeing some of the artwork, and it's kind of cool because it's got a filter on the art to make it look more like it's pen and ink. I like that. That's pretty wild. Almost looks like this is a bit of a gazetteer as well. All right, there you go. So, all of these goodies are what we found inside the Mournwood Madness Bundle box from Gooey Cube. Once again, this is available now. It carries normally an MSRP of $200. You can score it right now for $159. Very nice. Very nice. And stay tuned. This will get a review. It's going to be a while, but it will get a review. I am going to have, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Is it The Darkest Dream? Isn't that the first level adventure we were taking a peek at? It was the last one that I just did an unboxing of. I think that's it. The Darkest Dream is going to be the first of the Gooey Cube reviews. DB points out that's expensive, but there's a heck of a lot in there. Keep in mind, you don't have to buy the entire bundle. as I mentioned, I think everything except for possibly that last like player's journal that we were looking at can be purchased separately. So if you just want the campaign setting, you can buy that package separately. All right. So once again, big thank you to the fine folks over at Gooey Cube for providing me with these 4 big ass bundle boxes for us to take a peek at. Very, very nice. All right. So I mentioned that you wanted to hang out to the end of the show, that it might be worth your while. So I had also mentioned that the holiday giveaways were not over. So they are not. So if you are still watching right now, you have to be a subscriber, which you already have to be a subscriber to take part in chat. So I already know anybody who chimes in chat is going to be a subscriber. And I did mention, I pointed this out on social media today, that for the holiday giveaways, you had to be watching live. I normally don't make that a stipulation for the giveaways. I did for tonight's show. So, if you're watching live, you have the choice of, in PDF, the Call of Cthulhu Investigator's Handbook, the Old School Essentials Classic Fantasy Tome, the Coriolis The Great Dark Core Rulebook, or the Warhammer Fantasy The Old World Role-Playing Starter Set in PDF. You must chime in chat right now before I end the show. You don't have to tell me what you want, but you got to chime in. As I mentioned on social media, to take part. Oh, look at that. Okay, DB is not allowed to win anything now. Didn't DB already win the Marvel? Was it DB? Oh, no. Was it the Madman? I forget. Yeah, here they go. Going with the chime. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, just wait, Tessie Trekkie, till you send me that email. Oh, they're all doing it. Okay, everybody's gonna chime like that. All right. Couldn't bother to be like, hey, happy holidays, Jeff. No, fuck that, right? Chime. Yeah, okay. So if you already won, you don't get to, you don't win one of these. You already got your goodies. Anyway, so what you need to do is send an email to Jeff McAleer at thegaminggang.com, and I will get back to you. Just tell me which you want. Call of Cthulhu Investigator's Guide, or Handbook, I should say. Old School Essentials Classic Fantasy Tome. The Coriolis The Great Dark Core Book, which is the new one. Or the newest of the bunch, the Warhammer Fantasy, the Old World Role-Playing Starter Set in PDF. And I will get you a copy. So when you email me, make sure you email me from the Gmail address that is associated with your YouTube account. Very, very important. So Kevin R. Smith says, actually, they won one of the 2 Marvel rule books. That was it. There you go. Anyway, so I'll give everybody another couple of moments to make themselves, known, right? So you got a few people who are chiming in who were watching, like Warren Davidson. We have Katana 12321. So welcome, by the way. So good to see you. Because if you don't make yourself known in chat, you will not get a copy. So I can guarantee right now, somebody out there is going to be like, oh, Jeff, I didn't have an opportunity to watch live, but I watch all the time. So could I get a copy of XYZ, right? Sadly, I'm going to have to say no. And I guarantee it's going to piss some people off. But normally it's like, yeah, contests are always open to anybody, right? I usually tell people, hey, you got until whatever date, right? Not tonight. Not tonight, because we're probably going to end up giving away a lot of PDFs. So yeah, that's really the reason why it's like, you got to watch live, got to chime in, you got to email me. And of course, if you won earlier, email me too. But anyway, okay. All right, TV's like, God bless us, everyone. Sweet. All right. So that is it for tonight's show. If you're watching live, thank you very much. If you watched live and took part in chat, big tip of the cap to you. Plus, you get to win something, right? I mean, yeah, made it worth your while. Take part in chat. But, you keep me company. You're also keeping each other company as well. But of course, I know a lot of folks out there, they don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. Thank you for taking time out to watch any of the videos here on the Gaming Gang channel. I will not be streaming live until January 6th. So I am on a holiday break, which I normally do every year. But that does not mean there will not be videos. Does not mean there's not going to be news and written reviews over on thegaminggang.com. You're still going to see that. Just not going to have any live streams until January 6th. Now, on Christmas Day, I will kick off the Gaming Gang 12 Days of Reviews. So you will see a brand new review each and every day from the Gaming Gang. And then, of course, on New Year's Eve, I will be sharing my annual favorite role-playing game releases from the past year. So I will be sharing my favorite role-playing game releases from 2025. I don't do a best of because I haven't seen everything that's come out. So I kind of feel it's sort of asshole-ish for me to be like, oh, these are the best. I don't know. Maybe I missed something that was better, but they are my favorites. So you will be able to check that out as well. Everyone, enjoy their holiday season. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Festivus for the rest of us. I think Hanukkah's wrapped up, hasn't it? If it hasn't, what is, isn't there also, I thought isn't there an Islamic holiday? Is it Ramadan? Ramadan? I know I'm showing my ignorance. Anyway, whatever holiday you choose to celebrate, I hope you enjoy. And if you don't celebrate any holiday, I hope you enjoy your time off, right? Oh, there you go. Kevin R. Smith points out Hanukkah ended yesterday at sundown. There you go. All right. Everybody have a great New Year. Like I said, I will be back streaming live January 6th. God, yeah, that's such a weird day for me, especially in the U.S., right? And it's like, yeah. Yeah, I remember something else that happened on January 6th. What you can do? What can you do? Agile Monk says, no, we're on the 4th night of Hanukkah. Okay, I don't know. I'm sorry. I mean, all I'm saying is happy holidays. Hope you're enjoying whatever holiday you choose to celebrate. So there is that. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings, right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. It'll also let you know when I share other videos, such as my recent review of the Dolmenwood campaign book from Necrotic Gnome and Exalted Funeral. Plus, you'll also be seeing my review of the monster book that will be on Christmas Day. So you will get to see that. So I will wrap up my review of the trilogy of Dolmenwood core books. All righty. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, happy holidays, everybody. And enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is in your neck of the woods. See you on January 6th. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Until I see you next time, I certainly hope all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.